on Tuesday. I am Yvonne Okhaifo. Join Femi, Obong-Daniels and me on Tuesday to find out the next two debaters to advance to the next round. I Beg to Differ Season 8. 32 debaters, now 14. One winner, 1 million naira. Sponsored by Tollywood College. Supported by Obiwizi, Lucas Green Fashion, Biloxi, Card Center Nigeria Limited and Quadras Group. Season 8 continues in March and culminates in the 2025 National Championship. If you'd like to partner with us, send an email to info@nigeriainfo.fm. I Beg to Differ, a tournament of champions.
Day after day after day, we return for this one purpose. I'll keep the torch lit, keep the flag flying, and of course also to ensure that the routine continues. The round of 16 continues today with 2 debates, 2 matches. From here, 2 more debaters will join the 2 others who qualified for the quarterfinals yesterday. We saw Akinbola go through. We saw David go through. Who will join them today? At the end of today's debates, 2 of 4 names will echo through and progress. Would it be a Deborah or a Simisola? Would it be an Okhaifo or an Abigail? We'll find out. Lagos, this is where brilliance meets bravery, where every argument is a step towards uncovering the truth and every rebuttal a test of wit and resilience. As the debaters take the stage, we invite you to lean in, listen closely, and witness the power of these young minds in action. Welcome, Lagos. Welcome this beautiful country called Nigeria. This is I Beg to Differ Season 8. I'm Femi Obong-Daniels. Meet my partner, Yvonne Okhaifo.
Thank you, Femi. Welcome, Lagos, to day 10 of I Beg to Differ. Of course, we're streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube, so join the live streams, interact with fellow viewers. Also, follow I Beg to Differ on Instagram. It is at Nigeria Info IBTD. At Nigeria Info IBTD.
All right, just so you know, here are what the finalists stand to gain. It's a first place prize of 1 million naira plus a Green Lion G20 Ultra tablet. It's a 13-inch tablet and a first generation Green Lion Universal pencil. Second place finisher will go home with 500,000 naira and a Green Lion SyncFit Duo Earbuds Pro 2. Third place finisher, 250,000 naira plus a Green Lion Echo Max headphone. Well, the prize money is courtesy of Tollywood Group of Schools, Tollywood College. The gadgets are all courtesy of Obiwizi. We'll also give consolation prizes to other participants and officials. At this point, we'd like you to meet our judges for the contest today, as has been the case in Season 8 and beyond. Make welcome to our Chief Judge, Dr. Chike Adiche. He's the head of the Department of Communication, Media and Cultural Studies, Pan Atlantic University in Lagos, Nigeria. Chief Judge of I Beg to Differ Season 8, as was the case in Season 6 and 7. Also joining Chief Judge Chike, Judge Amabasi Ekove, Senior Program Officer at Budget Foundation. We welcome her to the panel again today. Also, Ufoma Egbamuno. He is the news manager for our station, School FM, Wazobia FM, Nigeria Info, Kids FM. He joins the panel. And completing the quartet, my teammate, Yvonne Okhaifo, as Diction Judge. Here she is again.
Thank you, Femi. Remember that this debate is airing live on Kids FM. The dial is 101.7 on Kids FM, 101.7. As you heard Femi say earlier, Tollywood College is the prize sponsor of I Beg to Differ, of this episode of I Beg to Differ Season 8. And we're grateful to Tollywood for partnering with us. Of course, Biloxi Card Center Nigeria Limited, Lucas Green Fashion, Obiwizi and Cordrus Group are also supporting I Beg to Differ Season 8, and we're grateful for their support. Now remember that, remember Lagos, remember Nigeria, that this is one, of 2 or 3 debates to go. The next one comes up in March, and then the national championship later in the year 2025, around August. And so there's still a chance for you to be a part of I Beg to Differ. Send an email to info@nigeriainfo.fm. info@nigeriainfo.fm.
It's now time to welcome the 2 contestants for the first of these 2 debates slated for today. Let me say welcome first to Babalola Deborah. She's 13. She's an SS2 student of Heritage Group of Schools. How are you doing, Deborah?
Fine, thank you.
Interesting. We had 2 people from Heritage Group of Schools yesterday?
Yes, we did.
Oh, one did progress.
Yes.
Oh, no, hold on.
No, both of them didn't. Both of them didn't.
Oh, the young...
Ayeba Tokoni and Okhaifo.
Okay, Okhaifo didn't make it, and Leah was knocked out by the slightest of margins, 1 point.
That's right.
1 point.
By Amuzie David.
Good Lord. Deborah carries the hope of Heritage Group of Schools. All the best to you in this debate today,
Thank
Deborah.
you.
Her opponent is just 14. She's a year 10 student of Day Waterman College, Lagos. Welcome, Simisola Akinbola. How are you doing, Simisola?
I'm fine, thank you.
How are you feeling now? Ready for this, huh?
Yes.
Can't wait. Okay, neither can I. All right, you've met the 2 contestants. There are 3 phases in the debate. In this debate, just as a reminder to both of you, Deborah and Simi, the presentation, the rebuttal, and of course the closing rounds. It's 4 minutes for your presentation rounds each. It's 4 minutes for your rebuttal rounds each. For your closing rounds, it's 3 minutes. Just also to remind you that you are to present all your points during the first 2 rounds. All your points during the first 2 rounds. In your rebuttal rounds, go ahead and rebut your opponent's point and then add other points to it. Remember, just keep making notes when your opponent is talking. It will help you.
Also, just to add, Femi, you must first refute all your opponent's points, or at
Yes,
least
certainly.
almost all of your opponent's points before adding extra points of your own.
Okay.
If you only refute 2 points or 3 points and go on to add extra points, the judges may not consider those points because there are outstanding points made by your opponent that you have missed. Is that clear?
So pay attention to refuting your opponent's points. Okay? The closing round of the debate is no longer point-based. You guys have been through the first round, so you already understand that. It's about how you close. It's about what you bring to it. And I've seen some debaters come with some of the sweetest intros in their presentation rounds. Reserve your best for that closing round. But of course, again, just enjoy yourselves. Okay? 10 points maximum. You have to convince the judges of the superiority of your argument. Meanwhile, the judges will award points based on the number, the quality, and originality of every unique point you make for the presentation and rebuttal round. Remember, there are deductions for grammatical and diction infractions. And if, in case you tie during the course of the debate, we will introduce a tiebreaker round. It's 5 minutes each. It's one-off. You will switch sides and argue out the position your opponent had held initially. The winning debater will then qualify for the quarterfinals. Okay? Now, let's do the house rituals. Yvonne?
That's right. The debaters already picked their sides last week. And so they will now remind us how they picked once more before we introduce the topic. I'll start with the lady to my right. Simisola, what side will you argue today?
Opposing.
You will oppose the motion. That means Babalola Deborah will support the motion. Lagos, the motion for this hour is: should sports be used as a tool for diplomacy? Deborah will say yes.
It's a topic after my heart.
Simisola will say no. All that is left to do now is get into the ring.
We'll do that right after this short break.
The boys were separated from the men in the playoffs, and that separation continues in the round of 16 of I Beg to Differ Season 8. At 4 p.m. on Tuesday, Babalola Deborah faces Simisola Akinbola. Their topic is: should sports be used as a tool for diplomacy? And at 5 p.m., Moshood Femi Mubarak and Ochede Abigail Ioma will prove themselves for a second time when they debate the topic: is standardized testing an accurate measure of the student's ability? 2 more debaters will qualify for the quarterfinals on Tuesday. I am Yvonne Okhaifo. Join Femi, Obong-Daniels and me on Tuesday to find out the next 2 debaters to advance to the next round. I Beg to Differ Season 8. 32 debaters, now 14. 1 winner, 1 million naira. Sponsored by Tollywood College. Supported by Obiwizi, Lucas Green Fashion, Biloxi, Card Center Nigeria Limited, and Quadras Group. Season 8 continues in March and culminates in the 2025 National Championship. If you'd like to partner with us, send an email to info@nigeriainfo.fm. I Beg to Differ, a tournament of champions.
Can we get a round of applause, please, everybody? Thank you. All right. So welcome to the debate proper. It pits 13-year-old Deborah Babalola, SS2 student of Heritage Group of Schools, against 14-year-old Year 10 student of Waterman College, Simisola Akinbola. It is time.
Yes, the motion is: should sports be used as a tool for diplomacy? You will hear Babalola Deborah argue that indeed it should be used. Deborah, it is time to open your case.
Dear monitor, dignified ladies, and my participants audience. History excellence are when there are love, the spirit of competition can open doors. From people diplomacy between the US and Thailand to the Olympics, fostering global unity. Sports have consistently proven to be a powerful platform for peace and reconciliation. As you give Professor Plato remarked, you can discover more about the person.
Just a moment, honey. Don't worry. I have paused your timer. Pace yourself, okay? It's not enough to just rush it. The judges need to hear what you're saying, okay? I will now resume your timer. Carry on.
As the great philosopher Plato remarked, you can discover more about a person in an hour of play than in a year of conversation. This shows undermines the unique role played by sports in diplomacy. The moderator, dignified judges, timekeeper, co-debater, and my advertising audience. Good day. I am Babalola Deborah, a verifiable student of the Heritage of Schools of Father. Here on this podium to vehemently stand in favor of the topic which states should probably be used as a tool for diplomacy. And yes, indeed, it should. To start with examples of ping-pong diplomacy. The ping-pong diplomacy between the US and China in the 1970s helped start relations during the Cold War. A simple exchange between athletes led to a state visit by President Nixon. Secondly, uniting diverse nations. As Nelson Mandela once said, sports has the power to change the world. It has the power to inspire, and it has the power to unite people in a way that little else does. Thirdly, bridging cultural divide. The FIFA World Cup in 2018 was viewed by 1.5 billion people, showcasing how a single event can bring together people from different cultures. Personal for encouraging peaceful conflict and resolution. The Good Friday Agreement in Northern Ireland was influenced by shared common sports interests, promoting dialogue between Protestants and Catholics, breaking political barriers. The 2018 Olympics saw North and South Korea form a joint women's ice hockey team, signaling a moment of unity despite ongoing political tensions. Also, the enhances human rights advocacy. The Salute platform in 1968 diplomacy by Tommy Smith and Don Carlos raised global awareness about racial inequalities in the United States. Additionally, economic impact and cooperation. Mega sports events like the Olympics involve investments from multiple countries, thereby fostering economic cooperation. For example, the 2012 London Olympics generated £9.9 billion for the UK economy. Also, global reach of sports. The global sports market was valued at €600 billion in 2023, indicating its vast influence and ability to impact diplomatic relations. Let's not forget inspiration from iconic leaders. As former US Secretary Kofi Annan stated, sports is a universal language that can bring people together no matter their religious beliefs or reading background or status. Also, youth engagement across borders. Programs like Crisis Play use sports to educate and engage 2.3 million children in 15 countries, thereby fostering peace and development. Also, healing historical animosities. The historic cricket match between Pakistan and India helped substitute relations between the two countries. Concurrently, it enhances public diplomacy. The U.S. Sport Department runs a sport diplomacy aimed at building bridges with youth worldwide. Diplomatic symbolism in sports. JC Orechair for the 1936 Berlin Olympics served as a powerful counter-narrative against Nazi propaganda. Sports as a soft power tool. Also, media sports events helps boost a nation's image. Qatar used the FIFA World Cup 2022 to project itself as a major player on the global stage. Sports as promotion of Olympic truths. The Olympic truths dating back to ancient Greece had 173 countries supporting it during the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. Similarly, women's empowerment and equality. The rise of women's participation on the global stage has been a symbol of gender equality, with events like the Women's World Cup drawing record viewership and support. Promotion of national unity. Promotion of national unity. The 1995 National Rugby World Cup win by South Africa helped unite a racially divided nations, as depicted in the movie Invictus. It facilitates reconciliations. It always caused qualification for the 2006 FIFA World Cup, helped broker a ceasefire, thereby promoting diplomacy, which is only through sports, encouraging dialogue through friendly matches. The Peace and Sports Organization brings together world leaders, NGOs, and athletes to discuss how sports can be used to promote peace. To buttress more, it promotes mutual respect. The handshake between the players of Iran and the players of US served as a powerful tool in bridging gaps. In conclusion, sports transcend beyond borders, languages, and politics. Leveraging sports for diplomacy is not just an option, but a necessity. Thank you.
Well done.
Interesting start to her presentation round.
But you have to slow down in your rebuttal round, okay? The judges are struggling to hear you. All right, Deborah? Slow down. Make your points, but make sure you are audible, okay?
She's 13, Deborah.
That's right.
SS2 student of Heritage Group of Schools. Her opponent is 14. Her name is Simisola Akinbola. She's from Day Waterman College, year 10 student. Now we'll listen to her.
Simisola, it is time.
What if we base some of the most important events that can make or break bonds between nations off of the swishing of a racket, kicking of a ball, or how far you can throw a hammer? I know what state of chaos the world will end up in. One with superiority crawling on the back of inferiority like a king on slaves. Good day, my fellow debater, accurate timekeeper, honorable judges, and sensational audience. My name is Simisola Akinbola, and today I will be strongly opposing the notion on which states sports should be used as a tool for diplomacy. To begin with, the American Museum of Diplomacy defines diplomacy as the act and practice of building and maintaining relationships via mutual respect and tact. Although the term mutual respect cannot be viable if 44% of recipients or other athletes from the SEMS Journal survey have stated that they received at least a form of violence while participating in sports, including physical violence. How can there be unity when there's aggression? Following, I believe that sports should be used as a form of entertainment rather than a political statement. Imagine training months on end for one of the most important events of your sporting career just to realize that you've been disqualified without even having the ability to participate. This was the case of both Russian and Belarusian athletes in 2024 Olympic Games in Paris. According to Al Jazeera, both countries were banned from 2024 Olympic Games in Paris due to their involvement with the ongoing Ukraine war. While most might view this as a form of justice, they don't take into the account the over hundreds of athletes who lose their ability to participate and show off their natural skills and talents simply due to ongoing political tensions. It's like throwing away a wine bottle just because the cork fell inside. When disregarding the positive aspects of a situation just because the negatives cloud your judgment, we tend to make decisions based off of negative information rather than positive data, according to Nest Labs. Moving on, there's a popular view today that society is obsessed with winning. Stating in his opening speech of the Packers training camp, Vince Lombardi, American football coach, asserts winning isn't everything, it's the only thing, with the key term, only thing. It's well known that in every game played, there will always be the victor and the vanquished. So how can there be unity when there's always going to be somebody who's going to have the upper hand or someone who's regarded to simply be better? With the constant reminder of a winner and the utter grief of a loser, there cannot be union and supremacy, like the case of the recent Nigeria versus Libya AFCON saga, in which Libya led Nigerian Super Eagles astray, directing them to an alternate airport which was abandoned, leaving them for over 16 hours without the right policies for living, food, water, and an adequate shelter. Now, to say that Nigeria playing a game against Libya will make them feel any better is simply inaccurate. Rather, increases political tensions between the two, as well as drags athletes, unknowing athletes, into becoming victims, as well as creating tensions between the athletes. But sports does have the ability to unite. It is simply on an unsentimental basis. The art of sports can unite two Super Eagles fans, but simply due to the emotional connection that comes from watching sports rather than the political tensions that would come from it. According to NOI polls, 64% of Nigerians watch football. Now, imagine the decrease in the number of that if politics is added to football. After all, most people use sports as a form of escapism to get away from the reality of life. Likewise, the utilization of sports tears apart countries. After all, not all sports are practiced in all countries. While Nigeria has football as its major sport, a country such as Marshall Islands doesn't even have a national football team. How are they then expected to see eye to eye in agreement if they can't even see eye to eye in kicking a ball? It's very difficult to change the tradition of a certain era just because you want your tradition to stand out. But one most might say that it might be a form of sharing tradition. The term sharing cannot be viable if you're being forced to do something. It's imposing tradition on them. In conclusion, I believe that while sports has the ability to unite people, it cannot be used as a form of diplomacy. My name is Simisola Akinbola, and I stand firmly on my point, which states sports should not and cannot be used as a tool for diplomacy. Thank you.
All right, ladies. Femi. Now I have thoroughly enjoyed the opening round because clearly there is so much fire here. Lagos, if you are not watching these live, you're missing out. Join the live streams, Femi.
Contrasting styles, yes, but brilliance through
nonetheless
and through.
That's right.
You're on a long thing if you're missing this, and there is a lot more to come.
Absolutely.
Where that came from. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, it will be time for the rebuttal. Stick around.
The Tournament of Champions. It's I Beg to Differ on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Tollywood College is a modern co-educational day school poised to provide a perfect learning environment for students between the ages of 10 and 16. We are dedicated to innovation and excellence in teaching and learning. I'm talking about research, scholarship, creative activities, service, and public engagement. You will find that innovation and excellence in all these fields when you meet a Tollywood College student. We aim to create students that are successful, lifelong learners, confident individuals, and responsible citizens of society. We want our students to be proud of themselves and their school through the values of integrity, inclusiveness, responsiveness, accountability, collaboration, and sustainability. At Tollywood College, we arm our students with technological supremacy and help integrate it to values, morals, and our cultural legacy. The school curriculum has been painstakingly planned on scientific guidelines to provide students with intellectual stimulation, physical robustness, social adaptability, emotional independence, and leadership qualities. It is my pleasure to welcome you to this beautiful citadel of learning, an experience like no other at Tollywood College, where potentials are unlocked and given premium value. For inquiries, kindly contact us at the email address info@tollywoodcollege.com. That is info@tollywoodcollege.com, or go to the website at www.tollywoodcollege.com. I repeat, www.tollywoodcollege.com. You could also go to the physical address to see things for yourself at kilometer 43 Lekki Ekpe Expressway by Canaan Land Estate, Shongotedo, Aja, Lagos. Rest assured, we will be waiting.
The Tournament of Champions. It's I Beg to Differ on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Welcome back. It's a brilliant debate which pits Deborah Babalola up against Simisola Akinbola. Deborah is from Heritage Group of Schools. Simisola is from Waterman College. They are young guns, if you know what I mean. 13 and 14 respectively in SS2 and year 10 respectively. Brilliant opening rounds. We're now in for the rebuttals.
That's right. The motion is, should sports be used as a tool for diplomacy? Now, for this round, we will begin with the motion opposer. Simisola, it is time to refute your opponent's points.
All protocols duly observed. I, Simisola Akinbola, reiterate my stance by refuting some points stated by my opponents. To begin with, my opponent stated that the Olympics promotes, or rather, that global unity can be promoted through diplomacy in sports by making mention of the Olympics and the unity of South and North Korea as one group in the Olympics. And while yes, South and North Korea come as one group in the Olympics, that does not take away from the fact that the two countries still have a very strong and ongoing conflict between each other. The two countries are not seeing eye to eye currently. So even if they are to unite during sports, as I stated before, sports is simply just an unsentimental base of life. It doesn't really come as a long-term relationship, rather as a short-term violation. Moving on, she stated, my opponent stated that sports is a universal language. But for something to be a universal language, that means that it must be practiced everywhere. Not all sports are practiced in all countries, as I have stated before. While Nigeria has football as its major sport, a country such as Marshall Islands doesn't even have a national football team. So how is sports then expected to become a universal language if not all sports are practiced in all places? Not ping pong cannot be practiced in every single country, and not every country can stand, or rather can go by the terms of ping pong. Moving on, my opponent stated that it promotes national unity by mentioning South Africa and Nelson Mandela. And while, yes, sports can promote national unity, it also tears nations apart. Sports is a very competitive aspect of life. It deals with two people, or rather two teams, fighting against each other to win. Everybody wants to win. Moreover, my opponent also stated that Iran and the US shared a handshake, and that promotes peace, and all sports can be used to promote peace. But even though Iran and the US shared a handshake, that does not mean that Iran and the US are still going to be on good terms right now. As I've stated multiple times, while sports, yes, can be used to unite people, it is simply unsentimental. Sports doesn't have the backbone of seriousness to have the ability to give long-term goals or have long-term causes. Moving on, my opponent stated that sports can be used as a power tool, and sports can be used as a power tool in diplomacy, but not in a positive way. Sports can be used as a power tool to drive diplomacy through, but at the same time, it's disregarding the athletes that are also being put into the sports. It's creating them as though they are pawns in a simple chess game without the ability to move around freely. Also, my opponent stated that it promotes dialogue between youth people and also engages them. And while youth do watch sports a lot, sports is also a very tough aspect of life. There's always tension, there's always competitiveness, and there's also always aggression, fighting, and anger. That's not a mentality that you want to promote to the younger generation. After all, when young children learn something, it's easy for them to stick with the mentality of that. Also, my opponent stated that FIFA was viewed by a lot of people, and that promoted my opponent says that FIFA was viewed by a lot of people, and that promoted unity and exposure. And while it promotes exposure, it can also promote negative exposure. In the 2008 China games, while it was hosted, and it gave them exposure. It also gave them negative exposure in the sense that it exposed the world into the negative aspects of China, and as of current, most facilities in China are not of use due to such exposure. Moreover, my opponent stated that it promotes power and equality amongst nations, but it promotes not power, but a power dynamic amongst countries. After all, we cannot expect a less economically developed country and a more economically developed country to have the same amount of like sports facilities, sports teams. Hence, they cannot have the same sports abilities or sports progression. Thank you.
Well done,
Right.
Simisola, well done.
We're switching now for the rebuttal round for Deborah. Deborah, are you ready?
Still standing on the existing protocol. I mean, Babalola, Deborah, yet to repeat some points made by my opponent. To start with, my opponent said sports are merely entertainment. Well, I'd like to tell you, sports are more than entertainment. Sports serve as a neutral ground, promoting dialogue and breaking down barriers to the nations. As I said earlier, the diplomacy between the US and China mark a turning point in their relations. The China's invitation to the US table tennis team helped 4 decades of political tensions. Also, my opponent said the society is obsessed with winning. This is obsessed with winning. But I'd like to tell you, this does not negate the positive potential of sports in diplomacy. Sports fosters unity, sports foster development and progress within countries. It further development within nations. Also, my opponent said sports leads to supremacy. Well, I'd like to tell you, sports provide a chance for nations to engage in a competitive atmosphere, thereby promoting remembrance, unity, progress, and development. Also, my opponent said sports cannot be used as a tool for diplomacy. Why? Because it is unsentimental and does not come in long-term success. Well, I'd like to tell you, sports can and does to translate into long-term diplomatic efforts through sustained culture and collaboration of diplomatic success. A survey by the IOC, that is the International Olympic Committee, discovered that 82% of athletes believe that sports has the entire power to bring nations together. Now, I'd like to support my stance with some claims, with some points. To start with, sports and peace initiatives. The UN Sports for Peace and Development Initiative use sports to meet its sustainable and development goals. Also, promotes connection. The NBA African Game fosters the NBA African Game uses sports as a platform to engage African nations, promoting unity and togetherness. Furthermore, it promotes social inclusivity. The Special Olympic fosters inclusivity of people with intellectual disabilities, thereby engaging 6 million athletes with over 190 countries. It reduces hostility and encourages dialogue. Sports reduces hostility and encourages dialogue, thereby fostering development, peace, togetherness, and also the pursuit of shared dreams. When this undeniable point of mine, I strongly affirm that sports should definitely be used as a tool for diplomacy. Thank you.
Well done.
I must say, though, I'm surprised Deborah left over 2 minutes of her time hanging. That's very gracious. All right. Rebuttal rounds are done. And now it's time to go in for the kill, the closing rounds. We'll do that right after this quick timeout.
The biggest debate competition in Nigeria. I beg to differ on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Obiwizi is Nigeria's pioneer e-commerce platform for pre-owned gadgets. They are Nigeria's home of gadgets with warranties, where you can purchase all your favorite devices and quality accessories, both brand new and pre-owned. You can also trade in your older devices for a newer model in a simple and convenient way. To crown it all, when you decide to sell off that device of yours to meet that important cash obligation, Obiwizi is your guy, literally your guy. With offline and pickup stores in Ikeja, Lekki, Abuja, and Benin, Obiwizi delivers nationwide. So make sure you are following Obiwizi on Instagram at Obiwizi Backup Page. Yes, that is on Instagram. You could send an email to the email address info@obiwizi.com or go to the website at www.obiwizi.com. They are also on X at Obiwizi, literally Obiwizi. Obiwizi is spelled Obiwezi. Yes, Obiwizi. Follow them on all pages and of course all social media platforms and get that device of your dreams.
The Tournament of Champions. It's I Beg to Differ on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Welcome back. 2 rounds down, 1 final round to go between Deborah, yes, Deborah Babalola of Heritage Group of Schools and Simisola Akinbola of Day Waterman College.
That's right. For this round, Deborah will lead. Deborah, it is time to rest your case.
Protocols observed. I should Babalola Deborah, a verified student of the Heritage Group of Schools of Father. Here on this program, the very stand in favor of the topic which says sports be used as a tool for diplomacy. And yes, indeed, it should. Including the topic that sports should be used as a tool for diplomacy. Imagine a world where the only competition is on the playing field, where athletes engage not in war but in fair competitions. In the words of Kofi Annan, sports is a universal language that helps to bring togetherness. In a world separated by politics, sports helps to offer a unique platform thereby promoting unity within nations. Dear Moderator, honorable judges, and my ever 30 budgets, I bring to your notice that sports at their very core represent Adults competition. They symbolize hope, unity, and the pursuit of shared dreams. In a world separated by languages, policies, politics, and ideologies, sports offer a unique platform. It brings together mutual respect, healing, and also unity. And my participants, I beg to differ that sports is not an ideology, but as a practical proven approach towards building a more better, more connected, and more peaceful world. In the words of General Ban Ki-moon, sports helps to foster togetherness and unity. Let us harness this universal language. And let the games begin on not just for victory but for unity. Also, imagine a building without solid foundation. How do you expect such buildings to look like? Of course, it will collapse. This can be likened to the issue of sports in diplomacy. Without sports diplomacy, nations not only engage in war, but also to lead to an underdeveloped society. In conclusion, sports helps to foster unity. Sports helps to pave a way for a responsible community. And not the positivity development. I have been to treat my people around their price as our effect and input on diplomacy.
Well, the applause of fraud is what a fish. That Babalola Deborah, as 2 students of Heritage Group of Schools, her case is made. Which symbol of what?
All protocols duly observed. My name is Simisola Akinbola, and this will be my final statement in reference to my motion. The struggle of athletes can be used as a way of mending nations, or rather problems between nations. Let me paint a picture of diplomacy as a failure in sports. Take the 2014 FIFA World Cup in Brazil, for example, which was expected to be a show of unity, yet ended in a clash of clans. Russia had recently annexed Crimea, it's a territory of Ukraine. So the Russia-Ukraine match was shown to be a battle of animosity. The 2024 Olympic Games, in which Russia was banned from the 2024 Olympic Games simply due to their involvement with the Ukraine war. While most might not take into account the hundreds of athletes that might not been able to participate, they also don't take into account how their dreams, their hopes, and their aspirations have been slaughtered on the pedestal and on the pedestal of political tensions. We're not talking about bringing people together. We're talking about using sports as a war machine to combat tension, while the players are little pawns in a chess game without having the ability to move back and forth at their own free will. It increases the margin. Not only does sports in diplomacy increase the margin by which entertainment leaves sports, it's well known that politics has a serious backbone. Or rather, politics has a serious backbone, and it's not expected to be tampered with. On the other hand, sports is fun, and it's quite literally all games. We've seen the banter back and forth over who has the biggest Ronaldo fan base, or who could support Messi even larger, and also the chance thrown by fans from the stands, who are in support of one team or the other. I could bring you 1,000,001 reasons as to why sports cannot be used as a tool for diplomacy, but I'm simply going to leave you with this. You can't even attempt to mix the most similar gold and silver in the same pot. It simply will not work. It's been scientifically proven. It's the same way that you cannot mix politics and sports in the same pot. While politics brings seriousness, animosity, and conferences together, sports brings you fun and joy, and it's quite literally opposites. And while the saying opposite attracts works in most scenarios, you can't base the future of our nations off of sayings. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. It's the same way that if politics is added to every sector of life, entertainment, sports, industries, it's going to take over the world, and our rainbow of earth is going to turn into a grey alkaline metal that cannot be transformed back. I set my table. On one hand, sports. On the other hand, On the other hand, politics. In the center, I mix them together. But all I see is animosity, people not being treated fairly, diversions, and on top, cherry on top, anger. Thank you.
Well done. Oh,
It's finally come to an end. Finally come to an end. All right, the debate is over. You just had Simisola Akinbola, Year 10 student of day, Waterman College, is just 14, up against the voice you heard just before her, Deborah Babalola, her name, 13-year-old SS2 student of Heritage Group of Schools. They are players on the chessboard. They've made their moves. They've done their best. It's in the hands of the judges now. And we'll find out what they make of the debate. One of these two will be going on to the quarterfinals. Would it be Simisola or would it be Deborah? We'll find out right after this.
The biggest debate competition in Nigeria. I beg to differ on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Yes, gentlemen, specifically, you are the ones I am talking to. Lucas Green has an unbeatable offer just for you. This season, Lucas Green is offering you the chance to get 3 premium senator kaftans, 2 stylish English trousers, 2 office-ready shirts, and 1 classy pair of palm slippers, all for the price of 160,000 naira. Every order comes with a free gift. Hurry, as this is your chance to elevate your wardrobe at an unbeatable discount. Limited slots are available, so please act fast. Don't say I didn't tell you. Now, send a WhatsApp message to the number 0703-286-7011. That is 0703-286-7011. Do this now to book your appointments for measurement and fabric selection. That is 0703-286-7011. Do not miss it. Delivery takes 15 working days after payment. So follow the Instagram handle at menswear_by_Lucas Green on Instagram for more updates. Now be advised that this is a limited time offer, so make sure that you are quick to go and secure your spot today.
The Tournament of Champions. It's I Beg to Differ on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Welcome back. The first debate of the evening down. There's one more to go. And the results are in. In a bit, you'll find out how these two have performed. Simisola Akinbola of Day Waterman College and Deborah Babalola of Heritage Group of Schools. This is the part where I literally just talk all by myself. And Yvonne abandons me to it. She becomes a judge, and the judges don't say much, do they?
No, they don't.
They just do. So let's go into the scorecard and see how this debate has been scored. Okay. Deborah and Simisola, please pay attention. I'll start with your presentation rounds. In the presentation rounds, Judge Ama scores Deborah 15, Simisola 15. Judge Ufoma scores Deborah 12, Simisola 15. Chief Judge Chike scores Deborah 17, Simisola 15, for a total presentation score of 44 to Simisola to Deborah and 45 to Simisola, a 1-point swing. We go to the rebuttal rounds. Judge Ama scores Deborah 7, Simisola 15. Judge Ufoma scores Deborah 9, Simisola 16.5. Chief Judge Chike scores Deborah 8, Simisola 15, for a total Rebuttal score of 24 to Deborah and 46.5 to Simisola. Bringing us to the closing rounds. Judge Ama scores Deborah 6, Simisola 9. Judge Ufoma scores Deborah 4, Simisola 9. Chief Judge Chike scores Deborah 6, Simisola 9, for a total closing score of 16 to Deborah and 27 to Simisola. The totals are in. Judge Ama scores it 28-39, Simisola. Judge Ufoma scores it 25-40.5, Simisola. And Chief Judge Chike scores it 31-39, Simisola. It's a total of 84 to 118.5 for Simisola. But there is addiction infraction scoring. It's a deduction of 5 points to Deborah and 3.5 points to Simisola. The final result stands at 115 to 79 for the winner. Simisola Akinbola of Day Waterman College. Congratulations, Simisola.
Thank you.
Deborah, you were formidable, and I love your resilience because you've been here. This is your second time here, and I have a strong feeling that this is not the last we will see of you in this debate. But I'd like for you to take note of this important bit of information I'd like to share, okay? We know that you have speech impediments, we know. And we admire your courage and tenacity to carry on, okay? So one thing that can help you really stand out, because you're a brilliant debater, is pace yourself, okay? Instead of trying to speak very quickly, take breaths in between. Make your point, breathe, make your point, breathe, because reeling out your points isn't as important as ensuring that the judges hear you, okay? The judges struggled to hear you, and I did my best to help you, you know, but the judges still struggled to hear you. And to you, Simisola, well done.
Thank you.
I thought, when Deborah finished and I looked at you, I thought, oh my God, I hope she's not going to let Deborah's performance phase her, because she was at such speed. She was on top speed, and I worried that might impact your flow, because we had seen it happen sometime, I think, in two seasons ago. However, you held your own, which is something quite commendable. Well done to both of you. Simisola would like to have you back in March, okay? This is not the end for you, obviously, so come back if you're still interested.
In other words,
to have you again.
Season 8 is not over.
Season 8 isn't over.
Mm-hmm.
It's not over until the national championship in August, okay? So there's still time for you to come back. Now, to you ladies, pay attention. There are a few things I'd like to point out, okay? I'll start with you, Simisola. It is athlete, not athlete, okay? Athlete. And it is Ireland, not Ireland. Ireland, okay? He said Ireland. It is Ireland. It is pursuit or pursuit. There is no sh in the word. It is pursuit, but not pursue. Pursue or pursue, okay? There is no need to use more with better, because better is already in its comparative form. Good, better, best, okay? It is not good, more, better, more, best, or bestest. It is just good, better, best. So there was really no need for the more while trying to, compare. And to you, do I have time for? Okay, I believe I have some time for Simisola. You said scientific proven. I'm sure I meant scientifically proven. When you use amount, you often use it with non-countable mass nouns, okay? As opposed to number or quantity. When you use amount, you're referring to quantity, but in an abstract, non-countable way. What's the amount of of water we have left. How much water do we have left? Okay, so do we have much water left? Do we have little water left? You cannot basically count water as though you were counting blocks. All right, so for that you should have used number for number of facilities. Okay, number of facilities.
We gotta go now.
We do.
We gotta go.
I have 2 more minutes.
Well, you have 5 seconds.
Okay.
And it's counting down right now.
Goodness.
We'll
Now
be
I
back.
can't stand this pressure.
We'll be back
to your
after
number
this.
one station for talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
5 Alive Pulpy. So much pulp. So many ways to pulp it.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.